In our last episode, we created the base. We created a surface area so that we'd know where to start, but we might as well go ahead and turn that off. We don't need that anymore. If we do, we'll turn it back on, but that will not be part of our model. But today we're going to put the cross bracing on, but first let me remind you that down below we have some links. Now, you know I work in millimeters, and if you work in a scale other than in scale, there's a conversion chart down there below where I use 2 millimeters per foot, trying to convert the imperial system into millimeters, because scale modeling is so small. You're working in fractions of an inch, and it's a whole lot easier to do math on whole numbers than fractions. So anyway, there's a chart down there, but there's also a link to the free version of Sketchup. It's no longer available from the people who do Sketchup. They're now a subscription service. And it's only $10 or $20 a month if you'd rather have the new program, or if no telling how long this program will be up, so it may not even be available anymore. But if you go to CNET right now, you can grab a copy of it, and it's the same program I'm using. SketchUp Make 2017 is what you're looking for. And you'll also have to download the STL extension, because when we output this from this program, it has to be an STL file. That does not come normally in SketchUp. You have to download the extension and then Google how to install an extension. But once you do, then you'll see in your file system, you'll export STL. We'll do that when we finish this model. Okay, let's get started on our cross bracing. Anytime you want to measure something, take your measuring tool and click the corner right there. We don't want to go to the top. We want to go right there because we're dealing with the legs right now. Go all the way down to the bottom, and if you will notice, even though we made this is 30 feet above, our legs are a little bit longer than that because they're splayed. You know, if it was straight up, it would read 60. So we've got 61 and some change to work with. Okay, let's divide that. Put an X every third. So that's roughly 20. But we need a little bit of space down here, and we need just a touch of space up here. So let's make them 19 millimeters apart. Now, this is very important. We are no longer in the world of parallel or perpendicular to our axes. And in order for SketchUp to know you want to be on that surface and not out here somewhere or out here somewhere, it will give you really, when you draw these, let me draw one from here and I'll show you what I'm saying. If we pull down from somewhere along there, see that line, that guideline? See that little line, this going from my measuring tool up to that square is pink. That means we are on the surface of this pole, and we are not on the axes, okay, which is what we normally would want. But because it is so easy for that to not quite be right, what I always do, this is the surest way I have found to work. Let's get rid of that. Go to your corner right there and ride along that edge, okay? Now, you'll just have to trust me on this because I've already made this model a time or two. Type in 0.2. You'll see why later. All right, let's come over here and let's do the same thing. Right along that edge and type in 0.2. Okay, and you have to hit enter after you hit the 0.2. All right, now we have a line. Let's draw us a hard line from that point. See how we made a point right there? You have to look close to see it. Watch, when I get the line, see how it pops into that line and makes a little circle? That tells me I'm on that line. I'm on that little dot that I made. Okay. Start your pencil and come over, go to this line, and see how it'll pop in there? Now, your line is red. We are going left to right now. So see, the line is red. That is correct. If that line is not red, hit your right arrow key. For example, see, it's not red right now. Watch this. If I hit my right arrow key, it puts me back on that red line, and I can't do anything else. All right, go to your little circle over there and draw your line, okay? Now, what we're wanting, we're going to make this 2 millimeters wide, about a foot wide. Let's take our tool, measuring tool. Once again, let's ride down the edge. That keeps us on plane, on the plane of those legs, and type in 2. Can you see that little dot right there? See if I can turn it so you can see that. See that little tiny dot right there? See how when I get it on it, it turns a little round as opposed to being square? When I get on it, it's round. All right. Now, you really, at this point, you don't have to go over and put another one over here, because all you got to do is once you start your pencil line, watch what will happen. Start your line. See that red line? Hit your right arrow key, and you know, see, now you are on the red axis. And when you get to the edge, see how it sort of pops into that edge? Click. All right. Now, what have we got here? Let's see, our pencil tool's wanting to keep drawing, so let's let it. All right, now, hit your escape key. Come over here and watch what's fixing to happen now. Now we have a surface because we've drawn a line that bounds the board. This is the board we want to make. Okay. Now, just trust me on this. Pull out 1 millimeter because it has to have some thickness. You know, in real life, you probably would not have a 6-inch wide board. But believe me, in the N-scale world, it has to be, or you almost won't see it. So type in 1 millimeter, just 1, enter. Now, how easy was that? See? All right. Now, what we've got to do is we want to divide this into 3 parts. And remember, we were going to use 19. And we have to go from the top one each time. Go back up here. Let me get in close because I want you to see it has to be right here. Can't be here, and it can't be here. It has to be right here. Click, and just start the line. Get it. Make sure you're on that edge and type in 19. Okay. Now, let's go down here and find our dot. There it is, right there. See? Okay. Let's take that. Take our pencil. I'm going to turn. I have a space mouse, and it's a wonderful item to have. You can do it with your orbit tool. You can go get your orbit tool, and you can do that. Not quite as smooth, and you give up your other tool to do it. But anyway, go back and get your pencil tool. Now let's take it. Just for the sake of locking it in, hit your right arrow key. Boom. Now we're on that red axis. Let's go touch this line. Okay. Now, here's another thing you can do. You don't have to draw that guideline in now. You know you want to go down 2 millimeters. Start your line. Type in 2. Hit enter. All right. That drew the line for us. Okay. We're still drawing. Make sure that line is red. Hit your right arrow key if it's not. See, it's not right now. Watch what happens when I hit my right arrow key. You say, well, that's not parallel. It's because we're not looking at it straight on. See? It straightens out. Anyway, just trust it. Once you see red, and believe me, when you close it in, now come back up and close that in, and we get our surface. If you don't see that surface happen, then you know you were not on plane. That's your clue. Let's go get our push-pull tool. Pull out. Type in 1. Enter. All right. Let's do that move again. Take our measuring tool, click right here. Make sure you're in right there. Start writing that surface down and type in 19. Enter. Go down and find our dot. And there it is waiting for us. Okay. Now, once again, let's grab our pencil tool. Start your line. Hit your right arrow key. That forces it to go straight across. Get to the, see, once you get to that line, it sort of snaps in place. See, it'll also tell you right there that you're on the line. All right, click, start. Make sure your line is still following. You just move it out, and you can see the line is still trying to follow. So get down, touch that, type in 2. Okay. Now, come straight across, hit your right arrow key just to make sure you're on that plane. See how I can move way up here and it still stays red once I hit that right arrow key. So it really makes it where it's hard to make a mistake. All right, once you get on that line, click and then go up and finish your polygon, I guess you would call that. All right, now let's go get our push-pull tool. Pull out and type in 1. Now, how hard is this? Now, after we do all this work, you're going to make. We're going to do a rotate copy again, and you're going to see all 4 sides come up. And we're only going to have to make one side to do it. So let's take our time and make this side pretty. Let's grab our measuring tool. Go down, ride that edge. Type in 19 again. Enter. All right. Go grab our pencil tool. Get on the front. Keep your eye on that little dot. See, it'll find that dot for you. See how it turns round when it hits that dot? All right, click and start your process. All right, get over here and hit your right arrow key. Make sure that line is red. This will save you some heartache in the end, I can assure you. All right, type 2. Start your, ride that ridge down. Type in 2. Enter. All right. As long as you see that line, you're still drawing. If you don't, just go here and click. But anyway, for right now, we're seeing it. Make sure your line is red. Hit your right arrow key. After a while, you'll get the touch, and you may not have to hit that right arrow key every time. As long as it's red, you're okay. Now, finish up your rectangle. All right. So get our push-pull tool. Pull out 1. All right. Let's admire our work there. Okay, now, what about those cross braces? We want to have some X's that go right in here. Be very careful about this. We want to use our measuring tool. If you notice, I got my tape measure. You want to go in that corner. You do not want to start here. You want to be sure, no matter how far you have to zoom in, go up here and start your process. Okay, see your line. Now, for those of you that don't have a space mouse, see, I can keep my tool and I can rotate. But if you don't, watch what happens now. We've started our line. Go get your orbit tool and move it down to where you can go down to where you can see that corner real good. Now, when I go back to my measuring tool, see how it picks up where I left off? I've still got my line coming from up there. Go into that corner, not here. You want to go to that corner right there. All right. Now look what we've got. Now this is the trickiest part of this whole process, because now, in order for us to have half of that board on this side of that line and half of it on this side, we could draw a line from here to here, but our board is going to get thinner and thinner all the way down. Just trust me on this. From here to here, our angle gets more acute, and the board will get thinner and thinner, and it won't look right. In order for that board to be a foot wide all the way down, here's what we've got to do. Now, as long as I go in here, notice, see how it sort of jumps to that line? Start that. See how that line's getting squirrely on me? All right, but there's one place where it sort of wants to lock in. As long as it's sort of got that lock going, type in 1, enter. Now, do the same thing again right here and type in 1. As long as we're on this surface, see how it sort of wants to stay there? Long as you've got that sort of, or type in 1, enter. Now what we have, see, I'm showing you how this is, it has to be on this plane right here and that plane right there, or it will not work. But see how we're there? See that little X? That tells me I have an intersection there. So we're on plane. Okay. Now, here's what we want to do. We want to take our pencil tool. Well, first of all, let's get rid of that middle line. Okay? Because that might be confusing. Let's take our pencil and go. See, that tells me I'm drawing. It's hard to see if I'm down in here, but that tells me the line is trying to draw. Okay, click right there. Now see, it's not trying to draw, so let's click again. Now it is. All right, go up here. See how it hits that little X? When you get to that junction, you'll see an X. That's what we want. Okay, we're still trying to draw. We've got to go up here. Be sure we get in here. Go to this corner. Okay, make sure you're still drawing. All right. See, it cut us off for whatever reason. So go up here and click again. Now we've started again. All right. Find your little X. I think as long as you're on the line, you're okay. But I like to see my little X. There it is. There he is. He is definitely your friend. All right. Yep, we're still drawing. Okay, now watch what's going to happen when I finalize this. All right. Suddenly we have a surface, don't we? All right, let's don't pull that out just yet. Let's take our measuring tool, go up and make sure you're in that corner right there. Now, I'm scrolling in and out with my scroll wheel. And then I can move with my space mouse, but you may have to go over here and get your orbit tool. But remember, when you go back to your measuring tool, it'll pick up where you left off. Anyway, draw a line in that corner. Okay, now, once again, see how it's kind of sticky? It sort of wants to stay on that surface. See, I can sort of move a little bit away and it doesn't get too squirrely. All right, type in 1. That means I'm on that plane. And see, this board right here is splayed. You can't really see it, but the angle you're seeing right here, it's also going that way with that angle. So it's not parallel or perpendicular to an axis. So you gotta be careful right here. Make sure that line is sort of sticky and wants to stay there. All right, type in 1. Now, once again, let's get rid of that middle line because you don't want to get confused and draw to it. All right, let's come down here. Click on the X. We got a line going. Click on it. All right, see, we don't have a line going, so go back to here and click again. Now you come up here and find that little X. Sometimes you might have to zoom in a little bit. Okay, there's your X. Are we still drawing? Yep, still got our line going. All right, so let's go up here. I'm going to try to pull in close so y'all can see exactly where, can't be up here. That won't work. Has to be back there. Got your little X. All right. Make sure there's our X. Now, you notice we got us another plane going up there. I'll show you how to deal with that in a minute. Let's come down here and close off that one. All the way down here. All right, go up to your select tool. See how you've got this filled in right here? We don't want that. Click on that and hit your delete key. All right, cool, huh? All right, click on that, hit your delete key. Now, get your eraser, get rid of that, that, and that. Now, watch this. Take your push-pull. Anytime that I want this board to be as thick as that board, all I've got to do is, okay, click once, start your push-pull, and touch that surface. Now click again, and it will be exactly the same height as that surface. We'll use that feature a lot. You're referencing another. All right, but look, see, now we got a board, and it's the same width as that one right there. You know, had we drawn from here to here and here to here, that would have been easier, but it wouldn't look right, particularly by the time we got down to the bottom. Believe me, I've tried it. And you start out real thick up here, and it gets a little thinner here, and by the time you get down here, your angle is so acute because these are further apart, and therefore your angle closes up here, and it causes that to not be as wide. But anyway, this way they will look the same from top to bottom. All right. Now, we've just simply got to do that 2 more times. All right. Which repetition's good. If you're learning this for the first time, to do it a couple of times, you'll catch on to what's going on. All right, fine. Let's go to our corners. Make sure you're on that back corner. You want to be up against this board right here. All right, click. Now, once again, make sure that line's kind of sticking. Type in 1. There's no arrow key to help you there. You've got to get the feel of this. All right, type in 1. If you type in 1 and one of them doesn't look equal to the other one, then you can almost bet one of them is not on plane. Okay, that's one way to do it. Now, I showed you one at a time up there. Show you something. What we're going to do now is we're going to take our, well, we still got it. Let's go over here. Go ahead and let's draw off. All right. See how that's going wrong? All right, but I can sort of manipulate it and get it. Okay, now we're sort of on plane. Type in 1. Now go up. Type in 1. Now, let's go get rid of those middle circles. See, after a while, you'll sort of begin to learn your shortcuts. Now, take your pencil tool. Now, what we can do, we can go ahead and get rid of, well, no, we can't. My bad. Let's just grab our pencil tool. I was thinking of a shortcut there, but it obviously won't work. Okay, our line's started. Go up here. Our line's still going. Go right here. Our line is not going, so click it again. Make sure your line's still going. Okay, your line is not going now. Let's do it again. Click again. Go all the way up here. We know we're on plane if this happens. If that doesn't happen, one of your lines was not on this board. Okay. Okay, let's start right here. There's our line. Click it up in that corner. Okay, we don't have a line. Start again. See that line right there? It's telling me that that's straight across from the other line. All right. Try to get your little X. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but it sure ensures things. All right. Bring your line down here now. You can do a lot with your scroll wheel without having to go get a move tool or a... Once you learn to operate your... Okay, our line's still going. Let's go up here. All right. Now, once again, let's get rid of that. So click and hit your delete key. Click, hit your delete key. Now you can erase that line. All right. Grab your push-pull. Look at that. Now, see how your width stays the same? It would not stay the same the other way. Even though it would be quicker, it wouldn't look as good. And besides, if you were going to have them be different, you'd want your thicker ones down here and not your thin ones down here. But unfortunately, it works out the wrong way, you know. All right, let's do that one more time, and then I'm going to show you a very... I'm going to show you how to decorate this, but I'm not going to take you through doing it. I'll just show you how to put some bolt heads on it. But it would take us a while to put those on, and I don't want to bore you too much. But let's do this one more time. This is the important stuff. Once you get this, you will know how to work with splayed legs, and I'm sure there's a number of... You can make a table with splayed legs, you know. Okay. Now, type in 1. You know, make sure that line is kind of sticky. You know, I can sort of move, and that as long as that line doesn't want to move, if I don't move at it. Now, I can move it if I keep moving, you know. But as long as it sort of stays in the same place, you know you're on plane. Type in 1 again. All right. Get all our guidelines in, and then we'll harden it and be there. SketchUp's pretty good about knowing what you want it to do. I have found that when you're working, if you work just slightly off face on, when you're face on, it's hard for it to know when your mouse is going backwards or forwards. But when it's a little bit to the side, it becomes obvious you're going backwards that way and forward this way, you know. And SketchUp sort of knows that. I have no idea who wrote this program, but he or she was a genius. Okay, let's get rid of those those middle lines. It is very intuitive. It was actually written in the beginning by Google. It used to be free. And like I said, you can still get the free... there's a link below. Again, if you don't have this, you better run over there and get it right now, though, because the people who actually own the program now are on a subscription service. And, you know, I mean, if you enjoy the program, I think it's $10 a month or $20 a month, something like that. And I would imagine the new program is better than this one. The paid program probably. But, oh, man, this one will do a lot. I'm talking and not telling you what I'm doing, but I'm assuming by now you know. Just hardening the line with the pencil tool. See, I'm basically just scrolling in and out. I'm not even using my space mouse. When you scroll out, if you move to the area you want to work in, it will sort of center that area for you. So it kind of moves the program, but just make sure your dot's on the back side. All right. Oh, I must have missed one of these lines right here. Well, there we go. One of those lines didn't draw a minute ago. Okay. Click your area you don't want, hit delete. As long as it is bounded on at least 3 sides, then you're dealing with a separate piece right here. All right, now grab your your push-pull tool. Go sideways so you can see what's happening. Pull out and touch right here. I don't know why that didn't. Oh, I do know why. Hit Control Z, and let me show you what I did wrong. See those lines that I forgot to erase? It sees that as a separate surface, that is a separate surface, and that is a separate. You got 5 separate surfaces there. But if I do this, now I have one surface. I'm glad that happened, because if it happened with you and you didn't know what it was, it might take you a minute to figure it out. Believe me, I've learned a lot by making mistakes. All right, pull out, touch your surface up there. Now let's admire our work. Look at this. Okay. Is that cool or what? Now, if you wanted to go in here, we're not going to do that. We're not going to take time to do this because it would take a while. I may do it off screen after I get through. I'm going to show you how to do it, but I'm not going to do it everywhere. If you go up here, start at your top board. Now we're going to work from the outside. You know, a minute ago we were working from the inside in there. Let's go get our measuring tool. We want to ride that edge right there. All right. Come in 1 millimeter. Okay. See how we got our little dot right there? Get up there so you can do that little dot. All right. Do the same thing down here. Ride that edge and get it started, and then type in 1 and then enter. Now let's grab, no, we got it. Find your little place, find your little bubble, start your line. All right. Now go up here and find that other dot, and this forces that to be, see how it turns around when you're on the dot? Now you have a line that shows you you would be the same amount in. Now, roughly guesstimate. This is our circle tool, but this is a polygon tool, and it can have as many sides as you want it to have. It just so happens that it starts as a hexagon, and that's what we want. Sort of approximate where the center of that line is. Pull out. I didn't. I got to pick that polygon tool. All right. Now see how it's sort of, now watch this. Go 0.5. Anything smaller than 0.5 in SketchUp, it is very hard to see. Now see how we have something that almost looks like a bolt head? Take this and pull out, about 0.3. Okay. Now, if you want to go to the time to do that here, in other words, on every board, and do it on both sides, it looks quite good when you do that. But it would take a bit too long to do. So I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do, first of all, remember Control Z. All right, if I hit it one time, it takes me back to the flat surface. If I hit it again, it gets rid of that. And if I hit it again, it'll get rid of that guideline. In other words, Control Z just takes you back one step every time you hit it. Sometimes I hit it a bunch of times when I really get in a bind. All right, now, let's turn off the platform, and let's turn off the post. We want to take this, we want to lasso lasso everything. Well, first of all, I see a dot up there. Let's go up here and go delete guides. Get rid of all our guidelines. Make sure you're selected. Now, right click, make group. Now go over here and make a layer called cross bracing. Come up to your layer palette, click down and find cross bracing and assign that. Now come over here and turn it off just to be sure. You know, every now and then you'll miss a piece or something and it won't turn off, and that lets you know you got to go through that process again. Okay, now let's turn everything back on because this is going to get cool. You know how long it took us to do that, right? Not that long, but it wasn't quick and easy. So here's what we want to do. Take your measuring tool, draw from corner to corner, corner to corner. Now we know where dead center is. See the little X? That tells me where my center is now. Because we made that a group, if we click it once, it selects all of that. Okay? Get your rotate tool. See, here we go again. This is a powerful tool right here. Make sure you want to rotate around your blue axis. Get on the dead center. Now, hit your control key because we're going to make copies. Control puts the little plus there. See the little plus? All right. Now, get in the dead center. Click. Pull out your line and put it on one of those dotted lines. Okay. Click one time and start your process. All right. See how it moved to copy? Also, see how if you can't make it say 90 down there, type in 90 and hit enter. But anyway, it's pretty easy when you're aiming for a line. It wants to snap to that line. All right, click again. Now, before you do anything else, hit your X key, which is your times key, and hit ×3. Enter. Now, how much time did that save us? Go up here and let's get out of this. Hit your select key and click off somewhere. Now, look what we've got. Look at this. Let's admire. Oh, let's get rid of those guidelines. Once you've used your guidelines, delete them because they start to get confused. You'll have so many on a page after a while. But look what we've, let's turn the surface off. We don't need it. Look at that. And that's I'm probably going to let it rest for this lesson because that's a pretty good bit to take in. But you see, this is how you get splayed legs without having to measure the angles. All you got to do is identify where you're going from and to. Draw you a line, and then whatever you want to span that, whether it be a 4x4 or a 6x6 or a circle or whatever, you draw it down there. Select the line because that tells it where you want to go, and then get your follow me tool and click whatever pattern you drew, whether it's a circle or a square or whatever, really. Click it and it will jump to wherever that line goes. Okay? In a future episode, we're going to do a water tank, and we use that tool a lot with the water tank. But anyway, that's enough for this lesson. And I hope you're enjoying this. In the next lesson, we're going to make the fan and we're going to make the vane. And we're also I'm going to give a shot at making it where that vane, where it will rotate. Anyway, you'll see how we do that on the next lesson. But anyway, I think that's enough for today. Thanks for watching.